I imagine if you're watching this channel, nothing outrages you more than a hypocritical YouTuber with a following, someone who's looked up to, someone who's respected, someone who's managed to carve a piece of the social media pie out for his or herself, and just has absolutely no respect for their fans, for the YouTube audience at large, and in some cases, the law itself. That's right, Suzy Lu is the worst. If you want to be outraged about the worst, I mean, just somebody that says one thing and does another, do as I say, not what I do. Stick around. I'm Tommy C. This is Shot from the Point News, and my boy Tipster, just about 24 hours ago, and if somebody beats me to the story 24 hours, I usually let it slide. I figure they got me, but I want to signal boost this. I think this is important. This is a very outrageous person. This is a very silly person. This is a ridiculous person. So he breaks a story about Suzy Lu, and he's got personal stuff going back. If I'm not mistaken, we're very suspicious of a false flag campaign. We never were able to prove it without a doubt, where he made criticisms of Suzy Lu. Just criticisms, no video, nothing used of hers, and all of a sudden, oh my God, it's bullying and harassment. So we dealt with that last March. So Tipster was the first to report this. Apparently, Suzy Lu has switched her content around to Jinx-like content. And when I say Jinx-like content, I mean watching TV and uploading it. I mean, I'm not kidding. Like, entire animes to see the insight she has, Suzy Lu, on anime. And all she really does is go, oh my God, I love that. Oh my God, I love that. And makes tons and tons and tons of dough. And ladies, let me tell you something. I'm not one of these guys that looks down on girls in stream. If you're pretty and you earn money, and you know what, go with what works. I've got a big mouth. It seems to work for me. And if I had other big things that people liked, I would totally flaunt them. I'm not really sure how Suzy Lu gets over with the community, but she does. More power to her. But she's just so shady about it. She's just so shady about it. Well, anyway, Suzy, doing the Jinx tag, just rewatching animes, she got, her entire YouTube channel got terminated recently, and it mostly had to do with the animes she was watching, and I don't know, Japan figuring it out. So just by sheer luck, she managed to talk YouTube into giving her channel back. And when she comes back, she says, I was allowed to use these all along. It's a big misunderstanding. But also takes down all the videos that were in question. So she takes them down and starts her own website where she can just, you can watch her watch other people's work. And she can put her hands in her mouth and say, oh my God, I love this. Right? Well, one of Tipster's fans had figured out that old Suzy Lu had blocked all incoming IPs from Japan. I guess imagining that, well, they'll never be able to see it then, or maybe they'll just limit investigations. It's not like you can't buy a VPN. So he found this fantastic story, and I'm going to link it right here. I hope you go check it out for all the details on that. But what makes Suzy Lu the worst? Well, last March, Suzy Lu at that time was flagging people that were critical of her. Just straight up flagging. In some cases, not even using any kind of video of her at all. One of the biggest examples was just a 3 to 5 second clip that switched from her to Michael Jordan saying, stop, get some help. That's it. And she flagged that down. Of course, just get 3 strikes, you're out in this, you're off this platform. And she had zero compunction to do that, and explain that these were not in fair use, because she's a lawyer, that they were just hate videos, and bullying and harassment are, not permitted on the platform. All you had to do is be critical of Suzy Lu. Suzy Lu. So if you guys are familiar with the Monday Matt situation, she, for whatever reason, came on Augie RFC's program last July and last March 2019, and Augie and other folks demanded, look, he was at 400 subs back then. Now he's at 7,000. Fantastic, Augie. And demanded that Augie, that Suzy Lu release her flagging history, right? And I want to show you what that moment was like. And I want you to keep in mind, she just lost her channel. She essentially watches other people's stuff. The stuff that was getting flagged was either just outright criticism or clips for stuff that was being criticized, which is clearly fair use. So she decides to release her flag history to prove that she didn't flag Tipster. And something funny happens. Here it is.
We can't have
And
the
you can
screenshot.
look. She can scroll down too. Like, where's the scroll?
Oh my!
Wait. Look on the right-hand side. You can scroll down.
This is not a good look, Suzy.
Wait a minute! It's all the stuff talking about the story. Wait a minute!
Yeah,
wait a minute! Suzy, no!
Oof.
Oh,
Yeah, we need
hateful
but
and
yeah,
abusive
we need-
content, harmful and dangerous acts.
we need screen share.
Content. Oh
We
my
need
God.
that screen share right now.
Oh
Yeah.
my
No.
God.
So she hadn't released her screen share at this point. And she just took a screenshot. And she was flagging criticism for hateful and abusive content. Criticism. Other people were copyright. She was literally just trying to shut down any kind of criticism or goof or mockery of her. A year later, she watches other people's cartoons, other companies' cartoons. And thinks, it's obvious there's big money in it. There's huge money in it. So she wasn't going to stop, so she tried to move it over to a website, block the Japanese IP. Really? Thinking, she wouldn't get caught. I guess she's insisting on it, but a year earlier, she was flagging anybody that criticized her and chalking it up to hate speech and or copyright theft. It really is quite amazing. Now, she did, the person we were defending back then, she did release the claim, and she seemed to cool off with it because this is an exceptionally embarrassing moment. I'll actually put this video in the cards as well. But I just wanted to let you know that, these YouTubers are the worst. She's the worst. Trying to stop abusing the copyright system, abusing the flag system, kind of like what we're seeing with Jay Station now, to quiet his girlfriend, to shut up his girlfriend, to make sure she can't have a career on here. And it's just the it's amazing. You can flag people for this, claim it's not fair use, and then just watch it's talk about going from one spectrum to the other. It's claiming every little thing against her isn't fair use, and then turning around a couple months later and just stealing other people's stuff and watching it. It's truly unbelievable, and it's gonna be interesting what happens to Suzy Lu going forward once some folks in Japan find out. Let's listen to a little more of this.
Even if they don't show it,
understood to show that
it's over. It's all over from here.
Even if they don't show it, I'm convinced that I'm somewhere on that
Game
list
over. I hope one of you guys takes this and makes a video on it and gets 1 million views. This is game over right
They
here.
lied to us. They lied to us for a fucking hour.
Fucking God.
All right, well, everybody's really excited. Unfortunately, back then, we were used to the Mundane Matt situation. Unfortunately, Mundane Matt, who claimed he wasn't flagging people, and he did release his flag history. It turns out he was flagging people that made mockeries of him and criticisms of him. Suzy Lu didn't really come from a community that was politically charged or even cared about things like fair use and free speech and that matter. So it didn't lay as heavy on her. We all thought back then this is the end of her, but it really wasn't, because the people watch her aren't as engaged where in things like politics, free speech, and fair use. But with Monday Matt, he was engaged with things like that, so that did affect him going forward. So that's all I got today. Good old Suzy Lu, screwing up as usual, and it's going to be funny to watch her because, look, she's looking at a serious lawsuit, not some BS Onision threat lawsuit. This is the real deal, Holyfield. These companies start bearing down on you, it could change your life. They could reach out and touch your life. Getting kicked off of YouTube is the least of your problems. Okay. In about 2 hours, we have a new Onision video coming out with new evidence, brand new evidence. I bet you're in the mood for that. So stick around. In about 2 hours from the time this video is first released, you can go and check that out. I hope you enjoyed your introduction to the worst. I hope you enjoyed and now are very aware and spread that awareness about good old Suzy Lu.